Alright guys, we're back at the Mustang. Today we have a tool review on this little guy right here. This is not mine. I borrowed this from my neighbor. It's brand new. He barely used it. I get to break it in, I get to play with it. And I think I might actually buy one. It's that good. I'm really surprised. So yeah, I'll do a little comparison of air tools to this and let's see what happens. Well, this is kind of my normal arsenal of most of the tools I use in the car right now. It's not all of them. This is just, you know, the convenient ones are in here and a few things up here. Belt sander. You know, these things are super handy, but as we all know, they're noisy. They're noisy. You use an air compressor, use lots of air. So I'm going to show you how well that electric one works compared to these. Okay, now just a quick rundown on some of the ones I use versus the M12 Milwaukee one. This thing is kind of big, it's kind of bulky, and I will say it's not going to be the last tool or the only one of these that I would use. And that's just because air stuff fits places. Because you have things like this. You look at the difference here. I mean, this thing is tiny. It's tiny. You fit this places that you can't fit this. Now a standard size one. Here's a pretty typical size one right here. You know, this is kind of a normal size. This is actually the oldest one that I still have, I think. And this is an old Harbor Freight one from probably the early 90s. And this thing still works better than the Matco that I have in the drawer. And it's been through much more use, and it still works better than that. I don't know if the new ones are as good. I don't think they have this size anymore. But these old ones here, they're actually pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of difference in size there. There is a big difference, obviously. For the test, I'm going to be using the same wheel on everything. This is a flap wheel. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's not a disc. It actually is a flap wheel. If you are not familiar with using these tools, do not buy flap wheels. You can ruin things in a hurry with this. You will dig right through a piece of sheet metal in no time. Stick with just plain disc. They just, trust me. It's like the time I lended a belt sander to a friend of mine. Didn't go well. He didn't want it again. So my next test is I'm going to go on the Mustang over here. I'm not going to set up some pieces. We're actually going to go to the car, and I'm going to do a couple grinds side by side. That way you can see the difference in real life, what it really looks like. You can get an idea of that. Now, I didn't take it all the way down, but you can hear how loud this is, the compressor going. Yes, the air conditioner's going, that's a given. But I'm gonna let the air conditioner shut off, and I'm gonna do the same thing again with the Milwaukee. We're gonna see what difference in sound. Okay, I got the Milwaukee now. Yes, quite a bit bigger. And it has 4 settings. I don't know what 1, 2, and 3 or 4 because when you use tools, you use full throttle anyway. So why? I don't know. But the one thing I will say I do not like about this is I don't like this little catch here. They need to redesign this a little bit to make it easier to flip around. Some of the other ones are better. Other than that, that's the only thing that annoys me so far. But we'll see how well this works on here. We'll do that one. We'll do the big one. Okay, well, I went a little deep in the edge here. You can see I actually ground off more with this than I did with the air one. This thing is surprisingly torquey. That is the only thing I noticed when using it, is it will kind of grab a little bit more than the air one will. So that's one thing to be aware of. But I have to say, this thing, I like it. I really do. To the point where I think I might go over to Northern and pick one up myself, because they're on sale with a free battery and a coupon, and I've got M12 tools. If you don't have a big air compressor and you're working on cars doing this stuff, buy this. This is just, it works. It really does. I mean, it is surprisingly good for being electric. Yeah, like I said, it's a little bulky, but it's got a lot of power. It's smooth, and you know, versus a $600 to $1,000 compressor to do this kind of stuff, that's a heck of a deal. That really is. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this back to my neighbor now, and I might have to get one for myself, I think. Okay, well, just to reiterate again what I just said in there, I am thoroughly impressed with this tool. I was hesitant to want to just go out and buy one, but my neighbor, I was over at his house the other day, and he said, "Oh, hey, look what I got." And I was like, "Hey, I need to borrow that." So he let me have it for a few days. I brought it home. I played with it for a few minutes just the other day, and then I was like, "Ooh, wow, that works pretty well." So I did a little more messing with it, and obviously what I just did here, and this is a heck of a tool. I am so surprised. The only thing I will say that I've noticed is, if you are going to be doing a lot of really heavy stuff, it will shut off. But that's not what this is meant for. This is not it's not a grinder. So if you want to do that kind of stuff, you're gonna have some issues with it. But if you've got one of these and you got an air compressor, even if you already have all that stuff, I would consider getting this, because it's quiet, doesn't have a hose. It's more efficient. You know, air compressors, I love air tools, but oh man, are they inefficient, and they waste electricity, they're noisy, the whole 9 yards. But you know, that's the trade-off when you end up with, you know, this tiny little tool because your power's over there, versus this. It's going to be hard to ever compete with. But I will say, I think I'm going to get one. I really do think I'm going to get one, because it really does work that well. So, like I said, and if you're one of these guys that doesn't have a big 60-gallon compressor, and yeah, it's big. I got a great deal on that one. I've actually had to replace the pump on it because I wore it out. But if you don't have a big compressor, and you do sheet metal work on cars, you do other stuff. I mean, he bought this for doing gaskets and stuff like that. It is that good. I'm impressed, and they didn't pay me to say that. I like it. It's a good tool. Hence the reason I did this video. So I do have some more Mustang videos coming out. Got a mower video coming out. Actually, I have another tool review one coming out of a welding face mask. We all remember my really bad face mask video, and I didn't like it, and I was upset with that one. So I found one that might take care of that. So yeah, give this thing a try.